Hi everyone, it's Georgie here. Welcome to Georgie's Kitchen. And today we're going to be making this beautiful ham and egg pie, which is absolutely delicious. Let's be honest here. Pie in all its forms is one of the most delicious, comforting foods you can eat. I think what makes this pie so good, it's packed with a combination of teasingly delicious flavours that leave you wanting more. So let's get started with the ingredients for the pie. You're going to need a dozen large eggs, 8 for the pie filling, 3 for the cream mix and 1 for the egg wash. 375 grams of short crust pastry for the base. 375 grams of puff pastry for the pie lid. 1 large onion. 200 grams of lardons. 600 grams of smoked bacon, 125 grams of Roquefort cheese, 100 grams of butter, 300 grams of mature cheddar cheese, 150 ml of single cream, handful of fresh parsley, 1 teaspoon of dried basil, half a teaspoon of black pepper, quarter of a teaspoon of rock salt. Remember, only a quarter because there's a lot of salt in the bacon. We don't want to make the pie too salty. Today we're going to be using this deep baking tin with a false bottom, and it should give me a really good, deep, tasty pie. Absolutely going to be a really good pie in this dish. This pie dish is 19 centimeters by 6 centimeters deep, so your pastry base is going to be 25 centimeters. I would say probably a couple of more centimeters for crimping around the edges, so let's say 27, you're rolling it to 27 centimeters. A lot of people have asked the question about rolling the pastry, why it's thick in some places and thin in others. It's very easy to do if you've just got an ordinary rolling pin, but this little gadget has gauges on the end and you can set your pastry level to whatever thickness you like. I find it keeps the pastry to the same thickness when rolling. If you would like to know more about this, I'll leave a link to the product in the description below. Cut the onion into really small pieces. Don't want any large pieces of onion. And this is going to be mixed with the bacon to give a really nice flavour to the pie. Finely chop a good handful of fresh parsley. Cut the fat off the smoked bacon because we don't want all this fat going into the pie, because the idea here is to cook the lardons with a little bit of fat on, and we'll also cook this lean bacon in with the lardon fat. Cut the bacon into small strips, about a centimetre wide. Fry the onions in butter. As soon as the butter melts completely, add the onions. Cook the onions until they become translucent. Get them a little brown if you can, but not burnt. But the butter that you're cooking them in is going to give the pie an amazing taste when you mix the onions in with the bacon. Drain off the excess butter and in the same pan cook the lardons. So we're not using any oil here, we're cooking the lardons in their own fat. When the lardons are nicely cooked, add them to the onions. Then add the smoked bacon to the same pan that you cook the lardons in. And that beautiful lardon fat is going to help cook this smoked bacon. There's a lot of variations on this ham and egg pie. Some people like to put in the ham raw. I prefer to cook the bacon first because it gives a beautiful flavour to the pie, and that's what it's all about, flavour and taste, and it has that definitely morishly delicious factor. Don't overcook this bacon because it'll continue cooking inside the pie, and we want it to keep a beautiful natural smoked bacon flavour. Add the bacon to the lardons and onion mix and mix it together. Now it's time for the cream mix. Taking 3 of my dozen eggs and cracking them in place, putting them in this mixing bowl. Doesn't matter if the eggs break because you're going to be mixing it all together anyway. It's about 150 ml of cream, which is about just over half. Add the salt. Add the pepper. Add the dried basil. And give it a good mix. Then add the fresh parsley. Give it another mix. And now it's time for the pastry. I'm going to use the 3mm disc, so that's going to give me 3mm thick of pastry. Using a little bit of lard, grease the walls of the baking tin because you don't want the pie to stick when you take it out of the oven. Okay, now the pastry base is ready. It's now time to add the ingredients. First, add the cheddar cheese to the bottom of the tin. This also stops any liquid soaking into the pastry and making the pastry soggy. Then add a layer of the cream mix, followed by a layer of the onion and bacon mix. Then add the Roquefort cheese. If the cheese doesn't crumble easily, just make sure you sprinkle it everywhere so there's a nice bite in every slice. Then start adding the 8 eggs. Followed by a layer of the onion and bacon mix. And the remaining cream mix. Use the remaining egg to make up egg wash to bind the lid and the base together, also to brush on the top of the pie. With a fork, just crimp the edges. With the remaining egg wash, do the top of the golden brown look when the pastry rises. Make 4 little to let out any excess 16. Preheat the oven to 190 and cook for 40 to 45 minutes. That looks delicious. Serve it with chips, vegetables, beans or salad. This is an amazing pie. Like and subscribe if you want to see my next video, which is Cajun blackened chicken with a beautiful Cobb salad and a gorgeous dressing.